There's nothing really like having your own business.
Working in a family business is challenging.
They wanted me to take over the company. However, they wanted me to take over doing it their way.
The biggest challenge is just trying to figure out how I fit in and like how I can contribute to the company.
It can be a lot sometimes.
We're one of the largest acrylic fabricators and distributors here in Hawaii.
Min Plastics means to me legacy. It means excellence.
The biggest reward is I get to come to work with my family every day.
It's really fulfilling to see the business where it is today after 75 years.
Min's Workshop was created by Frank Min. My father was a pioneer in the acrylic business, and he wanted to open up his talents to others and teach them how to work with leather, lapidary, and plastics at that time.
Frank was very friendly. He was very joyful. He was very welcoming to the customers. He stood up to his values, being a second-generation immigrant.
On the right, we have my father, Frank Min. In the middle is my handprint, and on the left-hand side is Andrew's handprint.
Frank was a very resourceful man. He made do with what he had, and he was very creative.
Memories that I mostly have is him internal carving. It would just be cutting small pieces of plastics on a table saw.
One of the things that he loved to do was making roses. He was so brave to venture into a material that nobody knew about. Elaine was an instructor for the university system, so she knew business. He asked my mom to come in and help out. So she retired from teaching in '75 and started to work with the business. So he was in the production side of the business, and my mother was inside of the administrative business side. I feel that in 1975 was really when the company took off, and she brought her expertise to the company, and then she became president and ran it as a woman-owned business. My mother was strict. She expected you to do your best at all times. And when I thought I did my best, she said, "What could you do better?"
Elaine was Mrs. Min, so she had her air about herself that was like, she is the boss. She is like the one who runs the show. You know, she walks into the room and everybody's like, you know, straighten up a little bit and like, okay, look busy because Mrs. Min has entered. But, you know, she had that really good side of her that was also very friendly.
So I got a lot of traditional generation values from them of the honesty, the integrity, commitment, respect, being responsible. When I was running this place and running with my parents, I always felt that my employees were like my family.
It's scary knowing that the employees have been here. Some of them have been here since I was like 6 years old, and they're the uncles and aunties that I grew up in, and now being in a position to lead the company, and ultimately the decisions that I make affect their lives and their livelihood.
This company is very unique and different. It's where your ideas can come to life.
One of the favorite things that I like doing is meeting new customers and seeing my old customers come back and having stories with them.
I work at Min Plastics because of how well they treat me, how I can see myself here in 30 plus years and always learn something new and never get bored or tired or blasé. And they're always trying to develop the company as well.
I appreciate how everybody trusts me to do a quality job and to be relied upon.
Min Plastics to me means a world of creativity and solutions.
The mission of the Friends of Iolani Palace is to preserve and protect and restore this beautiful place, and to share the stories of the palace and the ali'i who walk their hallways with Hawaii and the world. And the vendors are a really important part of our mission, basically. They help us in everything from, replacing historic glass and beautiful features to protecting our quilt that the Queen made. And so together with our vendors, we're able to not only preserve the history, but make sure that people can see it up close without harming it in any way. Alone, we wouldn't be able to do that. And so it's really important to have vendors as part of our mission.
We reach out to Min Plastics because they are a trusted vendor. We're a custom signage fabrication shop, so a lot of the processes that we do here at Hawaiian Sign are mostly in-house. So we like using Min Plastics because they are at the same level of quality control. Min is a local company just like us. A lot of the materials, because they're available locally, we're able to service our local clients and our businesses here rather than outsourcing it to the mainland. I do love the fact that both of our companies employ local people for a long periods of time, and so I think it's a great partner to have.
All right. How you doing today? All right, be on the road soon, okay?
When I started my business, I walked through Min's door. That's when I met him, looking for plexiglass. I feel attached. For example, material is one thing. The product I purchase is one thing. You don't know how much fun I had with your dad when talking stories. I trust them. They never let me down for all these years. I feel a lot of connection with those people I grew up with, and another, I guess, the cultural background topics and knowledge that we get to share with. Yeah. So ohana, that's the term. But I feel like kind of family, Yeah.
It's good to work with good people. That's what we're always looking for. We're looking for good partners, and Min Plastic has become that good partner. And one, they're starting to understand what we do, so when we ask the questions, they're able to actually facilitate a lot of the answers for us because we don't know their end of the business. They're able to take that and make it something that is easier for us and a better product for us in the end.
We very much prefer to work with local vendors. Plexiglass works for us because it's safer for both us to move it, and it's also safer for us to use it around the objects. There are plexiglasses that have different ultraviolet light prevention. For certain types of object, especially feather work, it's important to use plexiglass that has that ability to block out harmful light rays.
As a designer, I really try to lean into making choices that are going to work for long periods of time and are also significantly more sustainable. One of the great things recently that I was able to do with using Min Plastics was we built these large cases, and they had in stock large sheet plastic that was going to allow us to be able to see three-dimensionally these priceless artifacts as we're putting them on display, knowing that we're going to have quality plexiglass that's going to protect the artifacts, but also that we can have such a large viewing surface. And the fact that Min Plastics was able to have that material in supply for us was pretty impressive.
Working with Min Plastics has helped us in quite a few ways. It helps us to be able to share these remarkable objects with the public so that they can learn Hawaii history and see it up close. They're kind of encapsulated and protected from dust and grime, which helps us immensely in keeping an eye on really precious items. Right now, about 85% of everything you see in Iolani Palace was actually here during the time of our li'i. And what Min Plastics allows us to do is to share these items with Hawaii and the world.
The short time that I've been here at Hawaiian Sign and Design, we've relied on Min Plastics more and more. The quality control that we would normally implement in our own process, we can trust Min Plastics to do that, and with the same kind of care and expertise that we would normally do in our builds. I always say Min Plastics can do everything, because that is true. Whenever we're kind of at a dead stop where we're not sure on how to proceed with a build, we're able to take those files to Min and say, hey, is this something that you folks could do or take on? And most times it's a yes.
I simply appreciate a business who's willing to step outside of the box of what they're so used to. I talked to Andrew. His mind is really flexible because he's following the technology advancement and the material. He's always looking into what's new and what else can we do. I'm constantly having conversation with him. You know, he's actually educating me every time I talk to him, and then I can fine-tune my order.
It all started 4 or 5 years ago when we did a project. We required to have 2 flags, one an American flag and one a Hawaiian flag. When we needed that mold work done, I was referenced to Min Plastics to actually come and ask them, hey, could you help us out in various forms? And they were able to actually do a lot of that detailed work real economically and efficiently and quickly. It is really just making the highly detailed work much easier for us.
We like to say that we have 25 million stories behind our walls. Many of the things you can't see because they're in storage, but then when the curators want to interpret those different stories, they need to figure out ways in which those objects can be displayed safely. I think if there's any plexiglass on campus, it's been sourced through Min Plastics.
Min Plastics is very helpful for what we do because they offer quality materials, but also fast responses and great collaboration.
It's so important to preserve Hawaiian history, and especially the history that revolves around this wahipana, this special place. Because our history is so bittersweet, and there's so much that people don't know. Not only people who come to visit the islands, but people who are even born and raised here. There's so much that we don't know. So it's really not only critically important, but urgent in this time of day to continue to preserve everything we can for future generations.
I feel a big responsibility and a duty to our community and the Hawaiian history to be able to provide the same service and even better service and product in the future, knowing that what we are protecting or helping to preserve is hundreds of years old.
My time is ending and the new generation is starting. And I'm 70 this year. And they're the ones that are carrying on, and it's nice to see that.
I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Min would be very happy that it has continued and that now their grandsons are taking the lead.
I think looking back 20 years from now, I would like to know that we did our best and had a positive influence on our employees, our customers, our community as a whole. I would like that my kids are proud of what their dad had committed to and worked towards.
Or the feeling that I have taking it over with Andrew's, it's exciting to carry on or to keep a company going for the 3rd generation now is a great feeling that they know we're able to do that.
I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of them. Carrying on something that has lasted this long.
Quality.
Friendly, local, and professional.
Collaborative and fun.
Family. Trust.
Invaluable.
Dependable.
Unique.
Reliable.
respect,
creative,
helpful,